Here. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Bourbon Bar. I'm Holden, and I have here with me today Steven from Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans. Steven, please introduce yourself.
Nice to see y'all. I am Steven from Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans. I am a fellow YouTuber, and I mean, all y'all probably know. Geez, Louise, dude, this is gonna be a nightmare of a live stream just because it's been a rough week. I'm present, but it's life's been rough, right? Recently. I'm not gonna get into it in the public eye, but yeah, if
at any time you need to take a break from the drinking too, that's totally fine. Also, don't open those papers. I don't know if you did or not.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna open all of them. Oh no.
Yes, Sugar Kitty is in the chat. Cheers, Sugar Kitty. Peter White is also here. Cheers, all. Cheers, Peter. Thank you all for being here. Yeah, so most of you guys already know Steven from Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans, but I was on his live stream a couple weeks ago, and we did a blind. Yeah, and we did a blind that he sent me, and I had also sent him a blind. So this is what we're doing on today's episode. I don't have them poured yet though. Put these off to the side. But I do know what they are. So I think what we'll do is kind of the same way you did it. We'll start one at a time, just go through them and just kind of taste them and see what you think about them. And then when you're ready to know the answer, I'll kind of divulge the information. Sugar Kitty, put your link in there. Thank you, Sugar Kitty. I'm actually going to pin that to the top of
Cheers
the chat so people can go and subscribe to you. There. So that should be pinned now. Yeah. If anyone miraculously is not subscribed to Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans, then you're clearly messing up. So please go and do that.
I should have. I really should have. What is that called? Not preached. Promoted this a little bit. That's on me. Well, that's like I said, it's been an off week. It's been an off week.
Yeah, no, and I don't blame you for any of it. I'm just glad you can be here and we can be doing this. So that being said, these were only in here in case you were a little bit late, like you said you might have been.
Yeah.
I was just gonna go over them, but I'm gonna hold off till next week now probably. But have you tried these yet?
I have had one Bardstown Discovery. I think it was like 5.
Okay.
A hot minute ago, and that's about the only Bardstown product I've ever been able to try. They're not in my area, so we're some people I'm assuming you don't know anything about Smoke Wagon really, or you haven't been able to try
it yet. We just got distribution to Wisconsin for Smoke Wagon probably right around Christmas time, but other than that, everyone was talking about it and I had no idea what it was. So
definitely. Yeah, and they're readily available here. I can go out to the store right now and get whatever the most recent or one of the most recent uncut unfiltered batches without any sort of issues.
Yeah, that's not. There's a lot of stuff actually. After doing the live on your stream with those American malts, I went out my liquor stores and I was kind of looking around for some of those, and there's not many options for American single malts up here in Wisconsin, or at least not in my area that I've found. But I don't know. I'm sure I'll find them eventually too. But I was just looking around and I'm like, man, I don't see them. But so yeah.
Next time you go to the liquor store, you got to just send me a picture and I'll tell you which one to try first.
Deal. But yeah, these were the Origin series. One is a bottled and bond wheater, and the other one is a 96 proof high rye. But yeah, I had them out just in case. But you are here.
I love their branding because it's kind of square and then circular on the top. I think it's a really nice bottle shaped.
Yeah, and depending on the stuff, they have
that's dope.
A tree on the back of that one. This one has corn husks, it looks like, or corn husk leaves. But yeah, no, their branding is definitely on point. these ones don't have heavier corks, but the Bardstown Discovery series, the corks have some like heft to them, which is super cool.
I love it when like the cork is made partially out of metal or something like that. So it's just like it's heavy.
True.
Needs a little bit of a feel to it.
Absolutely. Casey's in the chat. Cheers, Casey. Thank you for being here. Hanging AZ. Hey boys, hanging AZ. How you doing, buddy?
Cheers. Nice to see you, man.
All right. So if you want to go ahead and pour sample A, however much you want to start off, I will have you close your eyes and then I will pull it out and kind of show the people as I'm pouring my own, because I don't have any of mine poured yet. So I'll pull it out, pour my own, show the people what it is. Anyone who's in here, don't be saying in the chat what he's drinking until obviously I divulge the information. But if you have it poured, I'm gonna go get it. If you could close your eyes.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna look like I'm not closing my eyes, but I just changed the tab so I can't see anything. Tell me when I can come back.
Perfect. Sounds good to me.
What is everyone drinking, by the way? Here, I'm gonna pop out this chat. That way I can still communicate with people. There we go. What are we drinking tonight? What's everyone up to? Got Hangin', got Peter White in the house, got Sugar Kitty. The heck are you guys all up to? It is way earlier than I typically will drink whiskey nowadays, so I don't know if any of y'all are drinking yet.
Yeah, so what is it?
It's not way earlier. It's only like an hour earlier than I go live.
5 o'clock, right, for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
you can come back now.
Just okay, cool.
I got it poured.
There we go.
But yeah, so I actually have a theme with these, and I will tell you the theme at the end.
Does it go in order A to D?
What's that?
Does it go in order A to D?
Honestly, no. It's pretty random.
Okay.
Which, looking back on it, I probably could have switched it around.
I mean, we can put it in any order you want. I mean, I already poured A, but I can just let it sit.
Yeah.
It's your show, man. Tell me what to do. I'll make it happen.
Do you have like covers for your whiskey?
I got the coins. Do they do much? I don't know, but I have them.
No idea. Maybe just throw one over A and we'll actually go to A last, because now that I think about it, that might be the best one to save for last. But what you can do.
Good thing I was wearing pants this live stream.
Yeah.
Okay. Which one am I pouring?
You're gonna go ahead and pour sample B. And then if you want to click off of the tab while you do so, I'll go ahead and pull it out and pour it for myself.
I'll let you know when I'm ready and ready.
Perfect.
You said B as in Bravo, right?
Yep.
Okay, sweet. Covers are good when you don't want cat hair. Yeah, that's true. I mean, yeah, I guess I see them in the aspect of it kind of protects the whiskey from getting stuff in it and whatnot, but like, does it trap the smell in it and make it more like intensified? I don't know. I don't know if there's a way to like qualify that, quantify.
Yeah, you're all set to come back. So yeah, I don't know. Honestly, it kind of feels like you are able to, because or it feels like it should be able to hold some of that in, because realistically, the alcohol vapors are escaping the longer it's in the open air. So if you can cap it right away, usually, I mean, granted, it's not like it's a tight seal, like a super tight seal, but you can imagine that it might help a little bit anyway.
Yeah, I've just never personally noticed it. It's one of those things where in theory it makes sense, but I don't really think it does anything. Just like this is a controversial topic and I might make a video on this, but the neck pour thing, I really like. My opinion is I don't really give a crap, but personally, I think the more like when it's completely full and you're like just taking the first sip, it's like a little bit condensified and it's a little tight. And then, but like those layers are still there. You don't really need to like let it open up or anything. Like
Right. Yeah.
swirl it in the glass, it'll open up. Like I don't believe it gets better as it goes down the neck pour. I
Right.
believe it's like the best or the most like condensed and quality as it is when you open it. And I think it just gets worse and worse the more air it sits in and
Honestly,
loses, which
yeah.
that makes sense to me.
Unpopular opinion for like I feel a lot of people. I actually kind of prefer a neck pour. Sometimes neck
Yeah,
pour,
yeah, that's what I'm
the
saying.
mouthfeel and like the viscosity. Like I know that's what you're saying. It's but like there's a lot of people who are like, oh, it gets better the more it's open. And I've had those bottles where you open it up and it's maybe just a little bit too pungent, right away. But I've had a lot of bottles where it's like you open it up and that neck pour is so rich and viscous and like
Mhm.
bodied, and then like a couple weeks later you're having it again and it's like I remember it being better, on the neck pour.
Yeah, my thought on that case is I think it's a mindset related thing. Like you just got this holy grail whiskey or whatever. Like
Right.
you think you have some sort of expectation, you open it up, you pop that cork, and you're like, eh. Like it's like I expected it to be better. So in that case, maybe you go back to it a few days later with the expectation of it's not as good as I thought it would be, and you try it and
Exactly.
maybe it's better than you remember and you're like, "Oh, it got better."
It's kind of like any bourbon drinker traveling into rye or scotch. When you're
Mhm.
drinking bourbon, you expect something sweet, and then you drink a peated scotch. At first, you're going to be like revolted, but then once
Yeah.
you go back in expecting the peat, it's a completely different ball game. And I think that makes sense what you're saying. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice fruit on this.
Oh yeah, fruit,
Like it's like a blue fruit.
like a blue fruit. How many
Yeah,
blue
like a
fruits are there? Is it just
blueberry,
blueberry?
raspberry, or not raspberry, blackberry. Yeah.
What? Raspberries
Like
and
I
blue?
said, it's been a week. And
Yeah, no, that's okay.
it's
I mean,
Tuesday.
technically, there's
It
blue
is
raspberry
freaking
flavors.
Tuesday. Yeah, blue raspberry. Actually, yeah, blue raspberry, that's what it is.
Hmm.
The neck pour is real, it's science. Yeah, no, like I don't disagree with the science of like ethanol evaporating. I think
Oh yeah,
I don't believe in the whole like, oh, it gets better after the neck pour
yeah.
concept.
No, it 100% is real. It just a lot of people think it gets better, and personally, I
Yeah.
think the opposite.
Yeah, I think like at most it just needs some time to open up, but you just pour it in the glass, swirl it around for like a minute or two, and boom, it's opened
Yeah,
up as open as it's gonna get. Like there's so much air in this glass, and you just twirl, swirl, whirl it a little bit, it'll be good
oh
to
yeah.
go. I like this. Is this a weeder? It has this soft
I
like
don't
blueberry
believe so.
cakey. It's like
Yeah,
a blue raspberry cake.
it definitely has some like um baked goods vibe
Yeah.
to it, like a like very nice, soft and sweet type vibes to it.
There is that spice though, so maybe it's not weeded, but it is kinda soft. It's soft with a little bit of, like, a cinnamony spice.
Hmm.
But I also get, like, overall, it's, like, this, like, vanilla cake with, like, buttercream frosting and, like, this blueberry, like, preserve layering,
Okay. Yeah, I can
a
definitely
little bit of a
can
cinnamon
see
oak.
those. Absolutely.
I don't know,
Absolutely.
it's been so long since I've reviewed a whiskey. I've gotten really away from giving notes.
Oh
'Cause
yeah. A lot of
I'm kind of
talking
burnt.
heads and stuff.
Yeah, I got burnt out on that, so, like, it's been a while since I've been like, "Ooh, this tastes like this." Like, usually nowadays, I've been like, "It's either good or it's not."
Yeah, I honestly like notes are cool and all, but as long as you can give the audience a general consensus of what it's like, you don't have to like call out, an almond that's at 96.8 degrees, slightly sweating with a bead of salty drippiness. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's there's no need.
Yeah, this has, like, there's a little slight, like, oak, some cinnamon, and then that, like, blueberry-filled cake. It's sweet, has a little bit of a spiciness, a little bit of, like, a blue fruit. But like those are just generalities where it's like you are likely to get these, but like me going so in depth of a specific note or a specific thing, it's just extra. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I really like the oak and spice on this in particular. It's not like pungent, but it's like a nice, soft, and well-rounded.
I think it balances off like the sweetness and like kind of like the tanginess of that like fruitiness.
Yeah, absolutely.
By the way, we got 9 watching right now and only 5 thumbs up.
Whoa,
What is
guys,
wrong with you all?
hit the
Hit
like
that
button.
freaking thumbs up.
Lick the like and
And
like the lick,
subscribe.
everybody.
Yeah, subscribe. Get my boy to 1,000 subscribers. He is 918 right now. I can't actually say that. I was gonna say I'm not getting off this till you at least have 9:30, but I
You might be here
really
a
have
while.
things. Yeah, it's like, I really have things to do today.
Is likely subscribe, but you know I am only 82 away, and honestly, I'd say probably the biggest bump in I've been getting a steady like 2 or 3 subscribers a day recently, and I think a lot to do with that is you know TikTok and Instagram Reels,
Yeah, those shorts.
Instagram Reels, and then YouTube Shorts. I think the more YouTube Shorts you do, the more YouTube's boosting your channel because it wants to promote shorts because it's trying to compete with TikTok. But it's been helping out a lot and doing pretty good.
Yeah, I have been doing one a week, and I don't know if it's really helping much,
Yeah,
but I mean it's also more content. So yeah,
true.
that in theory also helps, but I don't know. I didn't do one this week cuz I need to figure out a better way of doing it.
Yeah, it's honestly like my plan was 2 a week, and then I just started this week. I want to start doing 2 videos a week as well. So like a Wednesday, Saturday on the videos, then a Monday, Thursday on YouTube Shorts, and then Tuesday live streams. But with working 2 jobs, that's really cramming the schedule together. But I think that would help out a lot. And I have a lot of videos that I want to make, but I also have a lot of bottles that I want to review. So it'll be one video a day or one video a week will be going to bottle reviews, and the other video will be lists, talking heads, flights, comparisons, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of trying to upgrade this thing here, but I'm so close to 1,000 subscribers. It's like in my reach, but
Yeah. You'll get there. You'll get there. Especially if you start doing more content, like don't do a ridiculous amount of content because did that where I mean at this point I'm doing 4 videos a week myself, but like I used to do I don't know. I feel like there's been times where I've done like 5 or 6 a week and like I haven't really noticed anything and it's been just a lot of work.
yeah,
But yeah, I do
going from 1 a week though to 2 a week is probably a pretty good jump to make because 1 a week is good, but I actually kind of feel like I'm waiting to the weekend to put out my video, and it's just like I could just put it out sooner, and it would be great, you know?
Yeah, I do 2 videos during the week, a live stream, and then now I just added doing a short. But like a short is literally like 5 minutes of my life. Although I want to do a better job at it, so I need to figure out a way to like make this setup be able to be uploaded on shorts. I don't know. I need to figure out how to upload shorts from my computer.
Yeah, and that's a lot of people can do that. I just go on my phone because it's like, it's simplicity that I'm looking for some extra content and some extra stuff, and then I can just have Lauren come in here, record me, and it works. But it's like, I don't know. I have a lot of really good ideas for shorts, and like I have a lot of like fun and funny ideas too. So I'm just kind of like playing around with all the different ideas that I can do. It's just a matter of putting them into fruition, So
yeah.
Anyways, he says OGD Bib is a perfect example of a neck pour. Tastes like booty, gets to marry for a week, and it's the nectar of the gods.
No, I think it's still just garbage then.
If
it tastes like booty, booty's still booty, buddy.
That's true, but sometimes booty's good, Be Brave, Let's Talk is here. Says, let's go. Cheers, Josh. Thanks for coming in. And Sugar Kitty put on the link to Be Brave, Let's Talk, so everyone go check him out and subscribe to him.
Oh,
but
damn, that gets dark as hell.
Wait,
sorry.
Oh, you were turning on your light. I thought you were adjusting your camera's brightness and contrast from your desk. I was like, what?
No, I'm just trying to figure out a perfect. I think. Let's do 40. There we go. That looks good.
So have you done the full tasting on sample B?
So I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of drinking it as we were talking, just out of habit.
Fine.
I liked it. It was very similar to the nose, but it got a little nuttier and spicier.
Yeah.
And a little bit like drier, I guess. But overall, I mean, I liked it.
If you were putting a proof to it, what would you say?
Oh man, you're gonna make me pour a little bit. I'm being very conservative with my pours tonight because I have to drive later.
Yeah, that is okay though. I will not hold that against you. So,
I don't know. I haven't really drank much today, but I'd say like 108.
Okay, it's a decent guess. So
yeah, it tastes a little over 100, but not quite like 115s, 110s.
Right. Would you like to know what you're drinking?
Yep, send it. I like it though. I give it a thumb up.
Oh yeah,
I would drink it.
Yeah, this bottle is $100. It is, I believe, 104 proof. It, I believe, is a typical bourbon mash bill, but it is double oaked. And
this is double oaked. Oh, that's 2XO.
2XO. Yep. So the Phoenix blend, yeah, 104 proof. This is double oaked, but that's his brand thing. So every product that comes out of here is gonna be double oaked.
I like it. I like it. I do think
so worth it.
I do think the price is a little bit because Dixon's name's on it, but it is good. Sure. And I know that's really young double oaked stuff.
Yeah.
And that's really good for super young whiskey. It doesn't taste super double oaky though. Like I guess the double oaking that like barrel dryness I got on the palate, that's probably from the double oaking, but I didn't get like some intense brown sugar like I typically would. Yeah. I think it probably just balances out like the youthy side of the whiskey by adding like some heavy sweetness because it is still very sweet. But like the only like double oak type like flavor profile or note I would have gotten was that like slightly like tannicky dry oak.
Yeah.
Nuttiness.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
good though.
It is. I like that one. And like I said, at the end of this, I'll give you kind of the general concept for what all the theme of this was, and
bottles I've never tried.
Yeah, but Bino says hello, Bino in the house. What's up, Bino? Thanks for being here. Anyways, he says Peter White will be back. Will back me up. The OGD bib neck pour international fact. Interesting. So well known, I guess.
Hanging easy. I'm calling bullshit.
Have you had OGD one or Bottle and Bond?
No. I don't really care for 114 anymore. Really? I used to love it, but nowadays it's too spicy and like nutty and like ethanol-y. It's youthy. There's not much going on to like offset that like proof.
Right. Yeah, and that makes sense. I had the 114 in a bar as a bar pour, and I was contemplating getting one. I love the beam profile, and I love like a nutty. I like Booker's, obviously. So, so like OG, I would have probably bought one, but I actually haven't seen them around here in a while. I think they have like a glass shortage or something. But I'm definitely gonna buy one next time I see it because it's just cheap, cheap good whiskey, one of those type of things. But if you would like to go ahead and pour glass D as in dog or Delta. And then if you want to click off of the tab, I will go ahead and pour it so that the people can see. Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah. Yep, I'm ready.
All right.
Peter White, back me up on the night and day. Really? Okay. I really need to buy the old granddad bib then. Like
That's what I feel. They talk about it all the time, and I'm just like, it makes me feel like I'm missing out or something.
yeah, like is it great? Like so hang in, Peter. What's your actual thoughts on it compared to other whiskeys? Is it something I need to
You can
get,
come back now.
or is it just like an acceptable like $20 whiskey? Because I really don't need any more $20 whiskey. I have a handle of Old Forester 100 and a bottle of Wild Turkey 101. And like that's basically like $20 bourbons that are like, I don't know, consistently good. Like there's no need to have anything else.
Yeah, what is the OGD bottled and bond price comparison versus the 114? Like, is it really worth buying the bib over the 114 if I had the option to get both? You know?
Yeah, it's like what if you watered down the 114 to like 100 proof? Is it the same whiskey?
Because it's so like, you know, it's a high proof and it's so cheap that, you know, water it down, you get 2 bottles of the same stuff for half the price. Oh, I love this one. To be honest, I only sent you good ones, so I like all of them. But
man, I think my nose is broken, or this one's just so. I mean, I guess the last one was double oaked, so I need to think like I probably missed some of the more robust, spicier side, like the brown sugar.
I think the double oak kind of rounded everything out last round.
This one is bright. It's shiny, vanilla, strawberry note.
I swear, this is probably one of my like. I love this bottle. Peter White says OGD Bib is a great bar staple, very spicy, and makes a great old fashioned. Sorry, or neat. I'm drinking it right now. Interesting. Good to know, Pete. Good to know. Is that easily available for you in Canada? Canada?
What is that? This is a weird one. Swedish fish. It's kind of like has this like slightly like almost waxy candy type note.
You're right. Swedish fish. That's a really good note for this one.
That is weird. What is that? That's like making the palate funky.
I don't know. I'll give you a hint.
Well, this actually, you know, you're lying to me right now. You do know because you know what this bottle is. I'm just thinking out loud because like it's funky. It has like this weird like right turn on it about like mid palate, but it is kind of like waxy Swedish fish. I mean, I like it. I like the second half of the palate. The first half is very like just sweet nothingness, and then it has that like, and then suddenly it's like exciting.
Right. Yeah. It's actually this one actually goes fantastic with a cigar. I had this one time with a cigar and like it completely because I liked it before I had it with a cigar. Then after I had it with a cigar, I'm like, man, I should save the rest of this bottle for when I'm smoking because that would be nice. But I don't smoke cigars and have whiskey often because I live in an apartment and there's no place to do that around here. But and you know it's let's see, 6 degrees out right now. Ugh. So there's that.
Like I don't even know what the temperature is outside. I like this one. I don't like this one as much as the previous bottle. It's 60 degrees outside.
16.
I think it's good. It has. I think is that like finishing? That's like making it weird. Like is it like a finished like?
There is a type of finish on here. that is, it's giving it probably a characteristic that you honestly, it's probably something you would probably expect with the profile notes that you're saying. I don't know if you're able to pick out what kind of finish that is, but hey, AZ, thank you for doing that.
Yeah, it's not sherry, it's not port. I think it's cognac finished. It tastes like a. It's not light whiskey. I don't think it's weeded. I think it's a cognac finish bourbon. That's a guess, but that's what I'm sticking with. I think it's a cognac. It's a yak finish bourbon.
Yeah.
I like that though.
Okay. Well, would you like to know what the bottle you're drinking is?
Yes.
Okay. So this bottle is 104 proof again.
Okay.
It's odd. They're the same proof.
It drank lighter than the 2XO.
Yeah, it definitely did. But it's straight bourbon whiskey, and it is French oak stave finished. Ooh. And this particular bottle
is this a Maker's?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
This bottle is Penelope Architect Build 1.
So it's an MGP. It's a French oak stave finished MGP.
Yep. Huh. So this is Build 1. I don't know if you're going to be able to make it out on my crappy camera, but that's kind of it shows like what the whiskey was before they added the staves. That's a dotted line, and then the hard white line, that's going to be like how rounded they made it after they stave finished it, kind of evening it out between like oak integration structure, toasted, vanilla, that kind of stuff. It kind of like made it more spread out. But this is build number 1. So this is the first one that they came out with. And I haven't had any of the other ones, which is surprising because I liked this one so much. But it's very good with a cigar. And I actually drink this one a lot, or I drank it a lot when I first got it. Then I got to about half a bottle, and I'm like, I should probably slow down before I run out of it. So
I like that one. So I'm comparing it in my head to like a Maker's 46, just because that's my most typical like French oak stave finish bottle. And like I see the similarities, but I think like the spiciness from the finish is so much more pronounced on the Maker's because it's a weeded, it's very soft. Where this one, it seemed very copacetic, like the spiciness fit the flavor profile completely. So it wasn't like peaks and valleys of like, sweetness and then spiciness. Like it was like all just in line with each other, outside of that like little weird funky like, oh hey, we're finished, and then it got like waxy Swedish fish and like typical other bourbon notes.
Right. Yeah, no, the Swedish fish note was like an awesome note. It definitely has like what you were saying. It was kind of like a brighter vibe to it that is 100%. I always get like maybe to like a tiny bit of like a floral note, or maybe I'm getting more of like I don't want to say citrusy, but there's like just a twinge of something very bright on it, but it also has like that really nice like vanilla and caramel, oak, whatever, coming through with the stave finish, which is really nice too. Yeah, I don't know. It's something about it. I like it a lot, and so I'm like, screw it. I'm gonna put it on the list. It fits in the categories, which the category is not 104 proof whiskeys. Just coincidence.
I'm having a hard time deciding which one I like more.
You go back to the 2XO from this Penelope Architect, and it's so much sweeter and like round and like desserty. And you go back to the Penelope, and it's just like waking up,
Yeah. I still think I like the 2XO better, but the Penelope is close by, and I know the Penelope is only like what, like $65 or something like that.
Yeah, 65-ish, I think
So
sounds about right, versus 100 for this, which,
yeah.
like you said, Dixon Deadman.
Yeah, I
I
would like Dixon's 2XO, if I had to put a price tag on it, I would say like 80, 85.
Right. Yeah, I
In
mean, it is
today's
worth
market, 80
it's good.
bucks.
I think when I scored it, I had said, like, the thing that's kind of dragging the score down here is the fact that it's $100, but
Mhm.
overall, it's like it's I don't hate myself for buying the bottle, you know? It's worth it to me for the one time getting this bottle. I wouldn't buy multiples, but it's a nice one to have on the shelf and to try. But this one is like for 65 bucks, getting something like this, and they come out with different releases every whatever twice a year, I think, for the
Yeah.
architect.
Like the
So
2XO I'd rather have on my shelf than like a Booker's, me personally, but it would act in that kind of like place where it's like this would be not necessarily a super special occasion bottle, but it would be a bottle that I would like seldomly drink from, borderlining special occasion type stuff. And like the
yeah.
Penelope would be something that I would like crack into on a Friday night.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny you say that. I actually when I watched your video, and then I'm like, that I love doing those videos. I'm gonna make another one because I basically doubled my whiskey collection since the last time I made
Mhm.
only five whiskeys video.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
I put one out. I'm putting one out tomorrow, which is gonna be my first Wednesday video that I've done. And this is the start of putting videos on Wednesday. But I actually was editing it right before I came on, which is why I was very close to the deadline. I was actually like probably a minute late to actually start the stream, but that's what I was doing. But yes, it's
No worries.
a
I was
wonderful like I said, until I got down to this point and I realized I wasn't gonna get another build one. I was drinking this pretty regularly. Going to bonfires, like I said, having it with a cigar. It's very nice whiskey for that. So
Mhm. Yeah, no, I like this. I That's why when you said it was French oak stave finish, I was like, is this like the one of the BRTs or whatever?
right,
Because that's I see that you have a BRT back there, or I
I
think
do.
that's a BRT or whatever.
It's BRT 02.
Yeah, and so like I was like, oh, is this like a maker's pick or like something to do with makers? Because for some
Yeah,
reason we always talk about makers on like every live stream nowadays.
I
I
know.
don't know why. Like
Makers, it's
I don't
great
even
stuff. I think this one, the RTO2, I think got, I can't remember. It was somewhere very high on my top 10 list or
Mhm.
top 25 list. I mean, 'cause I think I got like 80 or something bottles this last year. So I did like a top 25 list instead of just a top 10. Cause like there's a lot of bottles that I wanted to incorporate that were really good. And that one like went from the bottom tier all the way up.
Yeah.
Um,
Ooh.
but if you would like, we can move on to glass A, which I think you already poured and have a cap
Hey,
over.
yes.
So that will be the next one that we do.
Got it, and I can't see the screen anymore. I
Oh, I
can't
actually
do
poured it already. Remember?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm coming back to being able to
Perfect.
see you. And yeah, we are talking whiskey on a whiskey channel for once.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the longer I've been live streaming, the, like, less often we talk about whiskey stuff, especially when I have someone else with me. It
Oh yeah.
yeah, and you always have Lauren with you,
Oh yeah.
if you're not with someone else. So, like, yeah, of course, the conversation's
Talk
not gonna
about
be all
derailing a
about
train.
whiskey.
But honestly, it makes it so fun though. Like, some of the best lives are just me and her effing around, and
Oh,
like we
yeah.
get into the wildest rabbit holes with the chat, and there's just like so much communications. It's awesome and hilarious. Jake is in the chat. Cheers, Jake.
Mhm. Cheers, Jake.
Um, Bert and Ernie. Yeah, Bert and Ernie for sure.
Ooh. Okay, so this one's for sure finished, right?
Yep, this one
Yeah.
has some finish on her.
This smells yak finished because it has that, like, buttery popcorn.
It do have a buttery popcorn. It's very like this one has body. That's what I can say about this one. It's
What?
got it's got body, and it's got
Oh,
like
yeah.
you can tell that it's got body in the nose.
Yeah, this one, yeah, like, full-bodied, it has this, like, buttery popcorn, this fruitiness, this sweetness. Yeah, nowadays, so I've been getting into a bunch of weird stuff, like conspiracy theory stuff,
Oh
like
yeah,
listening to
we were
like
talking about
podcasts
that.
about that. Yeah, so like
Yeah,
I'm gonna start like probably like at least once a month, just do like hey, I'm gonna pour a drink, maybe talk about it, and then just like talk about some conspiracy theories. Like I invited my older sister on. She was not going to be able to make it this week, but like she said maybe next week. Probably won't make it at all if we're being honest, but I was going to bring her on, be like, here, try some whiskey, and then we'll talk about like a conspiracy that you bring up
right.
and how freaking dumb it is or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's that's a great idea. I love those ideas. Conspiracy theories are so fun to just talk about. So I'll probably end up tuning into those ones as long as I'm not busy. But yeah, it sounds like a good idea. So
I just think that's the future. Oh man, this one's good. I don't even know what A is, but it's the best. Like it shit stomps the last two we tried.
oh yeah,
I
this
like
one
it.
is
It's
fantastic.
thicker, more viscous, nice fruitiness, nice sweetness, not some weird nuttiness or like heavy oak. There's a little bit of almost like a chocolatiness on it. It
Yeah,
kind of
I can
rounds
get
it
that
out and adds like
chocolate.
a little bit of a darkness to it. But overall, I would say it's very on like that sweet fruity finish side.
Oh yeah, for
But
sure.
it still has that like robust body that doesn't make it just feel like it's light, it's empty. No, it's thick, it's viscous, and it's still fruity and
Yeah,
sweet.
it's and it is actually it's just a little bit warmer than the last two that we had.
Yeah, like
So and
this one tastes
you
like
can
it's
tell.
like in the 115s ish.
Yeah, I would say like it drinks pretty close to its proof, and it's but like it carries all the body with it, which is like one of my favorite parts about honestly one of my favorite parts about whiskey. Two of my favorite parts. One is the nose. I actually love the nose a
Mhm.
considerable amount when I'm drinking whiskey. And then the mouthfeel is like so big for me. If it's not like bodied and rich and viscous, when I'm drinking it, it almost isn't as enjoyable. Like there's a lot of ones that I really love the flavor of, but when I drink it, it feels like water,
Yeah.
and it's just like it just comes down a couple notches for me when they're like that. But this one is just, whew, good.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. Yeah. It's always like every time I hang out with like my friends and all, especially the ones who don't like constantly drink whiskey or like nerd out on it. Like sometimes they'll be like, dude, why are you like sitting here just casually smelling things as we're talking? And I'm like, I don't know, it's just habit. Cause like I'll sit there and I won't like actively be like tearing it apart. It's just like I'll like smell it
Yeah,
and
because it
taste
just
it. And
smells
like
good.
sometimes when you're just like talking with like friends or whatnot or hanging out, you'll be like, oh dude, this has this crazy weird random note out of nowhere. And it just
Yep.
kind of clicks in your head and like, I don't know.
No,
Not that
I
we
feel
can
you
like
for
make
sure.
content off of that, but
Yeah,
that's how I get a lot of my cool, crazy fun notes. Like
when
out
I
of
when I hang out with my friends who don't drink whiskey, or when I first started drinking whiskey around those friends, they would make fun of me so much because I'd pour a glass and I'd smell it a solid 15 to 20 times, and then I would take one sip and then I'd smell it another 15 or 20 times, and they'd just be like, "Are you ever gonna drink that, or are you just gonna smell it all night?" And I'm like, "Hey, smelling it is like one of the best parts. You can't rush me, man. I'm just trying to sit here and enjoy it." But for people who don't drink whiskey, they think that's funny.
yeah. There's a really nice like movie theater butter and this nice like red fruity note.
Oh yeah,
I can't
it's
decide
like
if it's like it's like you're at the movies, you got your Twizzlers and your popcorn.
yeah, it's like buttery, salty, like
Yeah, yeah, you got a salty
ugh.
pretzel too. Man,
Yeah, it's kind of got like a bready note to it.
there's no like nuttiness or anything. You decided to pass on the cinnamon roasted nuts.
Right.
That's
Yep.
good though. I yeah, I don't know what's in glass A, but it is heads and tails above everything else.
Yeah. CNSA Crush says drinking 1783 now. I hope you, or I know you like it, but seems a bit bitter to me. Is that you like it?
I think
I've
it's
never had
okay.
1783.
Yeah,
That's Evan Williams, right?
1783 is just acceptable in my opinion. I think it's
Okay.
good for the price point it's at, but again, it's just another $20 bourbon. It's okay. I also like Heaven Hill though. Like where you kind of love the Beam product. I like the
Yeah.
Evan Williams stuff. It's
Yeah.
just I'm more of an Elijah Craig kind of guy.
I love me some Elijah Craig actually. Elijah Craig is actually like small batch is one of the ones that I bring places when I'm just crushing like
Mhm.
whiskey.
Yeah.
And it seems
I
like a
got
lot of people in Wisconsin.
barrel
What's up?
proofs. I have barrel proofs here. I got a barrel proof right there, and then I have the small batch on my little table back there. So
Oh
like
yeah.
I got a lot of Elijah Craig. Honestly, like that one singular bottle is probably the most like shaped bottles I have like of like one style of bottle,
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I think I have 7 ECBPs and then one normal and then a rye and then a toasted barrel and then I have 3 of the larceny barrel proofs, which are I know you weren't as much of a fan, right? Of
I've only had the one though. I just
the
talk
one,
mad
yeah.
shit on the one.
I saw the C922 for larceny barrel proof did super good, but I just got the A123 and it did really well for me. I liked it.
Yeah, I just can't wait for the ECBP A123
Oh my gosh, I know.
variant.
I just saw it's Bourbon Night put out a review of it, like a short and sweet review of it, and
Mhm.
they said it's like mind altering. At
Better
least
than
I'm not
C
for.
batch of last year?
That's what they say.
Okay, because I just bought another C batch for like $80 because I saw it on the shelves for $80 and I was like, man, that's been the best one I've had since B520 or
Yeah,
C920. And I was like, I'm not gonna pass this one up.
yeah.
Cheers,
I
Fort Leaf.
one of my friends, yeah, Stacy. Cheers, thanks for being here. One of my friends actually, he really liked B522, which I did a blind and I actually put B522 above
Mhm.
C922. But only because B522 had this, again, a nice buttery popcorn type. That's not what this is, but it had a very nice buttery popcorn like note to me that my friend actually called out. That was pretty good. Um, so when the next batch, which was C922, came out, my friend bought 3 bottles of it and just hunkered him down and he's already down to his last. No, actually I think he killed his last bottle at poker on Friday. So with from September he's just drank ECBP C922 and he killed 3 bottles of it.
That's ridiculous. That's insane. I can't even drink that. I got 2, and honestly, out of like the first bottle I have, it's probably missing like 5 pours. But I do
Yeah.
kind of like baby my Elijah Craigs
Oh
because
yeah.
they're so good. I'm like,
And
oh,
they're
it's
great
like
for videos.
yeah, the 2XO. I'm like, oh well, they're it's like a special occasion, borderline like Friday night pour, but it's kind of like it's so dependent on what the Friday night is, and it's
Yeah.
for like a low level special occasion.
Yeah, absolutely. Um so would you like to know what is in glass A?
Yes, if it's findable, I wanna purchase it. Time now.
I think you're going to be kicking yourself a little bit because we were just talking about it. Glass A
Really?
is Maker's Mark BRT 02. So now I can tell the full story here. So this one started, I've had it in my top 25, and what I did was I had brackets of like 5. I threw them in order the way that like my brain perceived them, and then I had Lauren blind them. So the bottom 5 starting got put in blind against like randomly like the next tier,
Mhm.
and then they moved on and on. This was in the last tier, I think. It worked its way all the way up to the final tier, and I'm pretty sure it was in my top 5. I'll have to double check my notes, but it worked from the bottom tier all the way up to like the top 5. That's how good this one was for me, in my opinion. So
I like this. It's for sure not cognac finished.
No,
but
so
that
this is
buttery
this
popcorn note.
yeah. This is lower proof than I thought. For some reason I was thinking it was around 116, but it's actually 109.4 proof. So that's actually a lot lower than I thought it was.
Yeah.
But it's obviously stay finished. And the
What does it stay finished in?
10 virgin toasted French oak staves. But the way the BRTs work is it's focusing on barrel rotation. And it says BRT02 is all about the final years of reaction at the bottom, where it's cooler year round. You'll find darker, heavier characteristics, along with some fruit and chocolate. So,
I mean, we hit the notes on the head.
yeah.
Totally wrong about what it was, but I'm horrible at that, like naming finishes, like finishing types or whatever. Like,
And honestly, that's not really what we're here for. I think it's fun to just throw something out.
This
If
is
you
my
have like
favorite
any kind of
though.
idea. Yeah, no, this is the creme de la creme. I mean, this is like I said, very high on my top 25 list. And I had some hitters in the top 25. Like,
Yeah.
So if this beat out Angel's Envy, this beat out Master's Keep, this beat out Old Fitzgerald Bottle and Bond, I'm pretty sure, or like the Decanter series. It beat out a lot. So I'll go over it kind of at the end here, but let's go ahead and pour in Lassie.
See? Yep. Yeah, no, I was pleasantly surprised on that one. It did a really good job on like kind of hiding the weededness. Now that I'm actively looking for it, I can tell that it's weeded, but like the French oak makes like this spicier characteristic, so it kind of spices up like the super softness of it, the kind of balancing it like with a easy approachable, very sweet softness, and then a nice little bit of like a cinnamony spicy oak, maybe not quite cinnamon, but like spicier, like almost peppery. And then there is that chocolatey note that kind of like smooths it all out.
It's like, I don't know, they did such a good job. It's so well-rounded.
That's a really well done whiskey.
Yeah. If you want to click off the screen, I will pull out my glass C. Did I say D? I meant C. C is the last one that we had left, right?
C is the only one. Yeah, C. Yes, this is C.
All right. Did you click off a tab or click on a different tab?
Bear with me. Okay, I'm off.
Perfect.
Yeah. Casey, C920, I thought was really, really good. It's been a while, so I can't really accurately speak on it, but I've been a huge fan of the B520, C920, B521, and C922. So I didn't have the B batch this year, but I didn't love the A batch. I thought it was acceptable for $65 to $80 12-year-old cash drink bourbon. I thought it was okay. Like it was good. It just wasn't as good as a lot of the other Elijah Craigs I've had before. But as far as this most recent C batch, I really like that. I liked the two B and C from 2020, and then I like the B batch of last year. Didn't care about the C batch of last year. Didn't have the A batch of the previous 2021. Didn't have the A batch of 2021, and then 2022 didn't have the B batch. I don't know. I seemingly get 2 of the 3 batches every single year for some reason.
Yeah, you're welcome to come back now. So it's funny you say that. C921 was the first ECBP I got, and I think it's like one of my favorites. I actually have 2 bottles. I have a second bottle unopened.
Really? Of C921?
Yeah.
I didn't care for that one at all.
And like
I thought it had it had this like funky swamp note or whatever.
Like a musty oak.
Yeah, it was like musty.
Here. I don't know. I like it. I liked it so much that I bought a second bottle. But what you were saying about A1 22, dude, that bottle did not do well. And that bottle like had some weird like astringent alcohol-y note in it. I did not like A122 at all. And Casey, I think the C920 is phenomenal. He actually, fun fact, Casey is a friend of mine up here, and his cousin had a bottle, probably about half full or a little over half full of C920, and he didn't care for it because he doesn't usually drink that hot of whiskey, the high proof of whiskey. So he sold it to Casey for I think like $35, and so that was a great deal.
Yeah. From just winging it on the nose right there, C921 smells better than A122.
Yeah.
I think
A122
A122 has probably been my least favorite.
Yeah, I would have to agree. A122 is probably the most disappointing one that I've had. But yeah, I don't know. It seemed like it was ethanol-y to me, the A122.
Okay. Glass C.
Glass C. Area 1 says, hey, I'm here. Good to see ya. Cheers, Area 1. Thanks for being here, man. Turkey says B520 and C920 are an amazing back-to-back combination. One is very on profile. The other is a real departure, but both big hitters. I wish I had bottles of those, like just on a shelf where I could just put them up against whatever I wanted. But that's before my time.
You know, something that I just realized kind of peeves me a little bit. Why in heck do they not just write like B520, C920, or like, you know, like B20, C20,
Why do they have to
A20,
go
like
A, B, and C, and then 1, 5, and 9?
Like,
dude,
why in the
I don't
world
know.
are you making this complicated? Because they're lettering the batches and doing random numbers.
I
Like,
know.
you can just say this is a batch
Redundant.
from 20. Like, it makes it so much more complicated for some reason.
Peter White says ECBP is so hard to come by in Ontario. They drop every 2 years, which is why I had a pirate bottle, C917 and C918 and A120. They are 2 years behind every drop. That's wild, dude.
I would love to have a pirate bottle.
So would I. Dude, that
Peter,
just not
if
even
you
like they're so cool looking, and then like the whiskey inside of it, I've heard is so good. It's just like if you had that bottle on the shelf, big flex.
I just want to. I don't even inherently want like a barrel proof pirate bottle. Like I would take it. Obviously, I'll buy any ECPP. I don't really give a crap. If it's like $80 or like around $80, I'm buying the ECPP without hesitating. If I don't already have one out there, because I don't have that much money where I could just clear the shelves of ECPPs.
Right.
But I would love a low proof pirate bottle, like a 94 12-year-old Elijah Craig, just kind of see how it is.
Yeah, it's like, you know what I really want to try? That's not like, a big hitter or like over allocated, but like, it's technically allocated because it's so impossible to find. But Dusty Turkey, I want to get my hands on some Dusty Turkey. That would be so good. It's like I love the normal turkey profile, but I've always heard everyone talk about how much more amazing the Dusty Turkey is, because I just want to have that experience of having something dusty so I can really kind of get that like dusty note in it. I don't even know. It sounds amazing.
Well, New Turkey for me, seemingly, I remember being so much like cinnamony, but
Right.
like nowadays for me, like this turkey is mostly vanilla custard cherry with a hint of nutty cinnamon.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it's not primarily nutty and cinnamon, like kind of like a beam would be.
Kind of
Because I
evolved.
remember it being like an in between of like beam and like your like MGP.
Yeah.
But like with
I
more
do
cinnamon.
too. Or at least like the bottle before this new one. They were different a little bit.
Okay, let's talk about this whiskey.
Yeah, how do you feel about that Glass C? one's a bit of a change.
This is a rye. At least I think so. It's herbal comparatively.
It is herbaceous.
We've been doing more sweet stuff, and this has more of like a black tea and like a pepper note.
Yep, very much so. It's definitely off profile from all these, which is why I was just like, let me switch up the order. You know, start with some lower proofs, work our way up to this bad boy, and then switch.
Yeah,
Switch it
that
up.
black tea is intense though. It is so tea-esque.
Yeah, it's
and peppery.
It's like it's got this little bit of like a lemon.
I was gonna say like orange patchouli or whatever.
Okay, what's a patchouli?
I don't know what it's called, but I have like one of those or I don't know what it actually is, but I have one of those like scentsy things, like the ones where you drop like the little oil into the water and then it mists it out to make the room smell. Yeah,
like
I have one of those scents and it smells kind of like an orangey black tea patchouli.
Interesting.
With
that's a good note. It's like got like a citrusy vibe.
Yeah.
Or like in there. It's citrus mixed in with like you were saying that.
I say orange, you're saying lemon, you know, same, but different, but still same. It's all perspective. Man, that black tea is intense though. It is so in your face, just bold like herbs.
Yeah. It's like it's just and spicy.
Yeah.
It just singes the hairs a little bit.
Yeah. I can't even get a good like judge of proof off the nose just because it's kind of smacking me a little bit.
Oh yeah. This one's definitely the power taker in this lineup. That's why I'm like, you don't want to fry you on this one in the beginning.
Oh, and then it gets sweet on the palate. Still that tea, still that peppery, but it's sweet. Has a nice like citrus explosion.
Oh yeah.
Peppery. Oh man. So I said A was my favorite, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of a sucker for ryes though. I find like when I'm nerding out, I gravitate to rye whiskey. Because
really? I think I've noticed that. I know you like the rye.
Oh man.
It's definitely like
Nope. A is still the best though. A's Oh, A is so that the one thing I notice about Weeders is they get such a solid mouthfeel. Like that shit is viscous as hell.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Weeders, I do have a soft spot, pun intended, for Weeders. They're just good. I don't know what it is. One of my favorite starter whiskeys was Maker's 46. When I was first getting into it, I had Maker's 46 and it was thebomb.com and I liked it a lot. And from that point on, I kind of always had like an affinity toward Weeders.
Yeah, I like that though. Has a little bit of a mintiness on the palate too. That's my second favorite. I go here. Let's go A, C. Then we started off with B, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna go BD. Yeah, so the Penelope was my least favorite so far, followed by 2XO, followed by whatever this rye is, and then the Makers. Which man, I can't believe me putting in a Makers number one in a blind of like incredible whiskey so far. Like, I mean, this rye is really good. It tastes like a. It's not quite
fair. This Maker's.
Yeah, I mean, it did kick a lot of things.
A lot of butt. Kicked a lot of butt. And it was pretty hard to find, actually. I got it pretty late in the
I didn't see any of them.
Yeah. I didn't see the 01 at all. I got this one. I actually had to drive all the way down to Nina. So like an hour. It was like a 50-minute drive down to pick up this bottle. And I literally went because they were doing, I can't remember, it was some holiday. It was some kind of holiday. maybe it was Thanksgiving or something. I don't know. But he had put out a bunch of bottles, and I got this and a Henry McKenna 10-year from the same store because he had put out a bunch of them, but he didn't have any of the 01. So I was a little bit disappointed, but then I tasted this and I'm like, who needs 01? This is the shit. Peter White says the Pirate ECBP bottle is long gone. I have a couple 12-year Pirate bottles still, though. Oh, a couple. Hanging AZ says, Holden, I got a sample of Wild Turkey 101 12-year and a sample of Master's Keep. Can't wait. Did you get this one? This Master's Keep? Because very nice. And then the 101 12-year, I've heard good things, but unfortunately, I don't travel internationally much. So the odds of me getting that is hard. Peter says, rye is life. I have around 80 bottles of rye. Few doubles, though. I don't have too many ryes. I have...
is this a turkey rye?
This is not a turkey rye. And I can guarantee that you've probably not had this one.
Okay, yeah. It reminds me of like a 100. I mean, I know the stats wise, it can't be a turkey rye, but it like reminds me of like a more earthy, aggressive Wild Turkey 101 rye, which makes me think like it's like a 105 to like 110 range rye whiskey.
Okay. Well, would you like to know what it is?
Yes, please tell me I'm wrong.
So, this bottle is a rye. The proof of it is 116.4.
Okay, we're off. That does not drink that hot though.
No, it actually drinks pretty good for its proof. The mash bill.
What's up?
This is a fun part. The mash bill. It's 94% rye, 5% malted barley, and 1% wheat in the mash bill. And it's aged at least 4 years. And the bottle that you are drinking,
it's craft,
is Redwood Empire Emerald Giant cask strength. Straight out of California, Redwood Empire Emerald Giant. I think
this is nothing MVP. Like their normal Emerald Giant.
Yeah, no, this is like, I haven't had their Emerald Giant, but I did get the whole cask strength lineup of Redwood Empire, and it is quite good. I can't remember if they were putting their own distillate in this stuff or not yet for these ones.
I like it. I think it's good. It just did not strike me as that. Like I would say it would be like comparable. I mean, I thought it was a more aggressive Wild Turkey 101, which I guess in theory would make it like a rare breed rye.
So this is actually distilled in California, Indiana, and Kentucky. So there is some MGP in here, but there's also some from Kentucky. I'm not sure which distillery. Yeah, probably. And then some from California, which is them. So yeah, some of their own distillate in here as well.
Huh.
Yeah, so
I wonder how they can figure the mash bill with the fact that they're sourcing from a bunch of different, I guess, like maybe they take the percentages of the sourcing and the percentages of that mash bill, and it seems like a lot.
The nice part about the transparency on them is super nice. Like it has the whole mash bill laid out, the proof and all that kind of stuff, and when it was bottled and how big the lot size was when they bottled it. But I had never had a rye that had a wheat in the mash bill before this one. It's only 1% wheat, so it's not like anything crazy. But I just didn't. I never really heard of that. So
yeah, it makes it softer and a little bit more approachable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which kind of bounces off the aggressive side of rye whiskey that not a lot of people like. The local craft distillery I work with, they do 5% wheat, in theirs, along with like some caramelized rye. So it kind of does the same thing where it softens it up. Although
Yeah.
I wouldn't say, I guess it is 116, and I thought it was like 108, which I guess
Yeah, you
does
weren't far
imply
off.
that it did kind of soften itself up.
It definitely has some spice in it too, which is good. Yeah, it's this one. I don't like I said, I don't have very many ryes, and I do like drinking ryes because, like you said, they're interesting. And I feel that way about single malts and scotch and stuff too. Like it's far more interesting because it's a bunch of notes that I don't really get to drink as often. But on a general palate consensus, I usually tend toward a sweeter palate, which is why so many of my, bottles are bourbons. But
Yeah.
this one was a sneaky bugger. He snuck his way right in there. But I'm gonna get through these couple comments, and we're gonna go over what the theme of this was, and then we can talk about that. Casey says, "Yep, you got it. Thanksgiving weekend. The BRTO 2 was Sellers. Is a great store. Yeah, Sellers and Nina on Thanksgiving. They did a good job. They had like a lot of different bottles. I think they actually had some 2XO that day too, but I had already gotten a bottle at that point. Shirky says their production software usually takes care of the mash bills and specifics barrel by barrel. Okay,
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Redwood Empire is starting to use about 5% wheat in everything of their own distillate as well. Yeah. So you really liked Lost Monarch, right?
Yeah, I really like Lost Monarch and Emerald Giant. The Pipe Dream, I think, is
Mediocre.
not mediocre because I think it's fairly priced. So my thing is like Redwood Empire in my head, the brand is like above its competitors, but the
Right.
bourbon is just like in line with bourbons of its like same price point and
Price
value
range.
that like it
Yeah.
just like it doesn't fit the brand in my head. So I think it's just okay, but it's nothing to like buy and write home about. Or
Right.
I mean it's worth the buy. It's a $35 bourbon that's seemingly the price of most other $35 bourbons that are just as good as it, but
Yeah. So each cast strength is $70. So
I would buy all of them.
yeah.
I'd buy this.
I have all three. I was gonna send you the Lost Monarch, but it wasn't as good. And
Mhm.
I had seen reviews saying that the Lost Monarch was actually better in non-cask strength
Yeah.
form, and I haven't had Lost Monarch like in normal small
Oh,
batch or whatever it's
it's
considered.
probably the best, like, sub $40 whiskey
Okay,
out there. In my
I,
opinion,
I've been,
it's so
I've
good.
meant to buy it, I just haven't, and I don't know why. But then I drank them and I did all of them side by side, and this one of the Pipe Dream and Cast Strength, dude, did quite well. It's very different,
Mhm.
and it actually did really good. And this one and that one were like 0.01 like away from each other in my scoring. They were very close. But the um the Burr ride just didn't quite. It wasn't on this caliber, so that's why I'm like, I know you like Rise, and I know you haven't had this one, and I know you like the normal Redwood Empire core lineup with the
Yeah.
Lost Monarch and Emerald Giant. So I sent you that one. Now the theme of tonight's blind is that these were all whiskeys in my top 25 list.
Okay.
So like I said, I got a bunch of new bottles last year. I did 25 of them in a series of blinds that, not gonna lie, got me very drunk and took me a very long time to complete. There was like Lauren and I would sit down and watch a movie, and I'd have 10 glasses in front of me, and I have the notes here that I can show you, like the way that I graded that. That was one session. I graded on the nose, the palate, the finish, the complexity, and then I added them all together for overall. But I did that twice for each glass. So like it took me like 3 hours per round, and there was 25 whiskeys to do. So
Yeah.
but I will go ahead and read you the order that these came in. So sorry, I gotta find them. And number 19 on the list was this Emerald Giant, which for me, like I said, not a huge rye guy. There was actually, I think, 3 ryes only in the entire 25 blind, but this one actually did really well. I think the other rye was a Willet 4-year, and this beat the Willet 4-year rye. And the other
Really?
the winners. So
I love Willet 4-year-old ryes.
yeah, I tasted the Willet the first time, and I'm like, this is the best rye I ever had.
Yeah,
And I got this bottle, and I put it blind against it, and it kicked its ass. Willet came in 22, and this came in 19, so that's 4 spots ahead of it. And then right on the heels, with number 18, is the Penelope Architect. So that came in at number 18 out of the top 25. And it's funny because I've had people on the comments of my top 25 video be like, oh, it only came in like spot number 20 or spot number 18 or whatever. And I'm like, and they're like out of 25. And I'm like, yeah, but it's actually number 18 out of like 100 because I got like so many bottles last year.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you what the best 25 are. So they're all good. But yes, so this one was at number 18, just barely cornering out this one. And then in 17th place was the 2XO, which coincidentally, I didn't even try to do it this way where it was like 19, 18, 17. It just happened. But Maker's Mark BRT 02 came in at number 4. The only things that beat it out were ECBP B522, Parker's Heritage Collection Double Barrel Blend. Which, awesome. And then Woodford
it's pretty hard to compete with that.
Yeah, I know.
And which Bookers?
Dude, was amazing. And then Woodford Batch Proof.
Oh, okay. I heard Booker's, and I was like, damn, a Booker's made in your top 5?
If I would have had a Booker's made it in my Booker's 2202 made it in at number 7.
Okay.
So for my top 10, just so you kind of get a feel, in 10th place was Angel's Envy Cask Strength. In 9th place was Wild Turkey Burr Rye. 8th place was Little Book Chapter 6. 7th place was Booker's 2202. 6th place, this was the biggest upset. New Earth Malted Rye came in at 6th place. That one started in the last tier with. Actually, this one might have started
That's a good rye though, because I think the maltiness offsets like the herbalness of it. So it just
I don't even honestly consider it a rye when I think about it. But it was so good. Came in at 6th place. And it got beat out by Old Fitz Decanter was 19-year-old, came in at 5th place. So then it was Makers, ECBP, Parker's Heritage, and Woodford. So that was a theme of today's thing, and I decided to pick out some of the best whiskeys I had from last year, and make sure that you hadn't already had them yourself, and then put them in a blind for you. So you actually you agreed with me with this one, putting this one first, but then you chose this one, which my order went.
Yours went Makers, 2XO, Penelope, and then Emerald Giant, and mine we swapped.
Yours you swapped. You just put the Redwood in front of you.
Yeah, I just threw that up there. So I mean, we agree relatively in the process of the order of the bourbons.
Yeah.
It's just you like rye less than I do.
Exactly, and it's a personal preference. These are all fantastic. I love these. These are like like I said, some of my favorite bottles on the shelf, which is why I sent them. I wanted you to try them. I really wanted to hear your opinion about them. So I'm glad that you liked them. Obviously, the Makers, hitting hard with the punches here.
I'm impressed by that Makers a lot, and that 2XO. I think that's gonna be a killer later on in life. Like I think that's gonna become one of those like almost like Whistle Pig related type things where
Right.
it's going to be this premium brand that's just like an easy quality sipping whiskey, because that is really, really good for a younger whiskey. That's something that if that was like $50, that's something I would just pour like endlessly on a
For
Friday
sure,
night
dude.
and just kind of.
That is like at $50, that is like on par with Old Forester 1920 and stuff like
But
that.
because it's easy, it's an
It's
approachable flavor
crushable.
profile, it's lower proof. Like I think just like price point aside, I think it's a really easy sipping, just enjoyable bourbon. So
Yeah.
like if I could afford $100 whiskey, as like say I wasn't like super nerdy into whiskey and I just had like two whiskeys on my shelf and I had like my good stuff and then like my mixer stuff and that was my good stuff, like I would be happy with that.
Oh yeah,
That's
for
a good
sure.
one.
And not to mention, like this label though is like sick. The Phoenix. The
Yeah.
next one he's coming out with, the TTB label is already out on it. It's called the Gem of Kentucky. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what the deal is, but I'd love to get my hands on that one and compare them because I want to know if this is like a fluke, if it's like he put out a really good one for his first one, but then the next ones are going to be bad, or I want to know if these are going to be one of the new like you got to have them when they come
Yeah.
out type bottles. You know what I mean?
Well,
Because a
from
lot of people
my
went nuts for this.
yeah, from my knowledge, I don't think he's ever released a bad whiskey. I think the only
Right.
complaint has
True.
ever been that they're pricey.
Expensive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the Kentucky Owls, the like especially the ones that he had his hands on were
Hmm.
monsters. They were expensive, especially in the age that they were expensive because that's like before whiskey went crazy, but you can't ever like say like it wasn't good because arguably it is.
Absolutely. Um, Sugar says pipe dream cast strength equals 4 grain mash bill, but Lost Monarch not cast strength has no wheat in it. Interesting.
I thought, yeah, I was like,
I knew that the
oh,
pipe dream cast strength was a 4 grain. It says on
yeah,
the back of the bottle. Um,
is it non-cash strength 4 grain?
the Lost Monarch cast strength. Wait, the Lost Monarch cast strength is a 4 grain, and it's literally a blend of this mash bill and the pipe dream mash bill.
Uh-huh.
And it's got like a significant amount of wheat in it, but I don't know. I can pull out my bottles here.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a mash bill on this one, but
Yeah, so
I think it's the same shit.
the pipe dream in cast strength is 74% corn, 20% rye, 4.5% malted barley, and 1.5% wheat. So there's only a little bit of wheat in there, but I think they're adding it and it's rounding stuff out a little bit. But the pipe dream is like at cast strength. It's like a lighter, like citrusier bourbon. I don't know if you ever had Grizzly Beast from them.
I think
Right.
so.
It's similar. Actually, did I send you Grizzly Beast one time? I think I did.
I remember someone sending me something.
I think I
So
sent you
it
Grizzly
must have
Beast
been you.
before we were doing lives together. I think it was.
Yeah.
I think I just sent you and we did a sample swap, and I sent you it. Speaking of, actually, no, I already asked you that. Never mind. I was gonna say,
What?
do you have any idea what you sent me for the long, long time ago? But we talked about this, I think, on your live stream. You don't know.
I know one of them is a Sagamore Spirits cognac finished one.
Is it? The other one was Barrel Seagrass. I know one of them was Barrel Seagrass.
Maybe. I don't know. I kind of went a little like because I was gonna do it as blind with you and Alec, and I kind of wanted to screw with you guys and give something that you never would have guessed. Just
Yeah.
to be like, wow, you guys both suck. Because I was just gonna be like the mediator for that night. So I kind
Okay.
of like I picked ones that were gonna be not super easy.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, if you ever want to do that, I'm down. That sounds like a blast.
Yeah. No,
Um,
we'll have to someday for sure.
mm. But I think that's just about it. Unless you had anything else you wanted to chat about, but
No, not really. I mean,
overall, these are
yeah,
good.
I liked all of these. I think these were all pretty solid whiskeys. I'm impressed at the 2XO not totally being a gimmick because I kind of had a feeling it would be a gimmick, but I just think it's just slightly overpriced
I did
because I
too.
knew
Yeah,
it was young whiskey that he was just double oaking, and it made me feel like it was what like craft distilleries do when they're trying to like release like a really shitty whiskey out there. So like,
yeah,
hey, let's just double oak it because that's gonna mask the garbage. But like it's good whiskey and it's easy to drink. It's simple. Like I have a hard time wanting to pay for like 104 proof whiskey
yeah.
$100 for that. Like I have a hard time going over like three figures for something that's not like
It was
higher proof.
Yeah, it was definitely one that I had actually passed a few times. It started popping up around, and I had walked past once or twice. I'm just like, I don't know, should I do it? Should I not do it? I had a couple opportunities and I
Mhm.
passed on it, and I'm like, you know what? For the sake of the channel, for YouTube or whatever, I'm gonna get it because you never know. It's Dixon Deadman. It could be good. It could be like one of those things where everyone's gonna want to know what it is. So I
Yeah.
bought it. It was awesome. I reviewed it. I can't remember how the video did, but it was. I don't regret it at all. So,
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
but
it's a solid, easy, approachable pour. And that Maker's Mark is just ridiculously impressive. Impressive. It's not
yeah,
oppressive, it's
especially for
whiskey.
the price too. I think they're like $70.
Yeah. And the Redwood Empire and the Penelope, they kind of performed about as
As you
well
would
as
expect.
I expected. Because I Penelope, they do MGP. I love MGP. My side, like my version of Penelope is like Doc Swinson's nowadays.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
we don't get
You don't
Penelope
see
here, but
Penelope, do you?
no, we don't get it here, but like we get Doc Swinson's and I love the heck out of their stuff recently. Like I've been going ridiculous with some Doc Swenson stuff, and I'm a huge fan of their MGP stuff. So like I'm not surprised I like the Penelope stuff. And then the Redwood Empire, I mean I'm a little surprised with how easy it is to drink for 118.
116.4.
Yeah. Cuz usually rye slaps you super hard, like it'll be like a 110 that drinks like it's like 115s to
Yeah.
120. This drank like it was like a one like I guessed it was 110. So it drank like a 105. And I was like, yeah, it's probably around like the 110-ish range in my
Right.
head. So it felt like an in between rare breed and wild turkey 101 rye for me.
Yeah, I've never had the rare breed rye, but I have had the Turkey 101 rye, and it smacks.
Yeah.
It's like a solid
Yeah.
bottle.
So think less herbal and more peppery.
Okay.
And then I think it's like 115 or something, 114.
Have you had the Elijah Craig rye?
No, no. I didn't hear any good things about it, so I just
It it's okay.
don't
It's
know.
peppery though.
Yeah.
I'd say one of the more peppery ones that I actually have is the Elijah Craig rye.
I'm like a
It was
95.5 rye kind of guy. I have so much MGP rye. Like MGP bourbon I'm just kind of getting into, but like MGP rye or, you know, rye that's sourced from MGP, I'm just all over that shit. Like
yeah.
Redwood Empire, High West, got obviously a boat ton, like a crap ton of Sagamore spirits. Like literally half of a shelf is all Sagamore spirits.
Really, I've heard so many good things about them, and I had some in a blind from Independent Joe
Mhm.
in a battle. So I wasn't really thinking much about the bottle as much as I was thinking about trying to battle Independent Joe.
Yeah.
But I had it in a blind against him, and I remember being okay. He had some other stuff that in there it threw me for a loop. I don't know if you've ever had a rare hair, but apparently it's like 100% Dickel juice, and I put it as my favorite.
I've had like hit or miss opinions of Dickel.
That's what I've heard. And honestly, I was watching an interview with the guys from Bardstown because they put Dickel and everything, and it's so what they were saying is so true to me. Like looking back on it, so I had never had Dickel, so I didn't really know what Dickel tasted like when I was drinking his sample, and I just remember it being super nutty, like super nutty, and it had a little bit of like a funk on it, but I wasn't like sure what exactly it was. But like when I say nutty, I don't mean like in a bad way. I mean like a peanut butter on toast type of nuttiness. Um, and so I liked it a lot because I love a nutty note. I'm a sucker for the nuts.
Yeah.
But then he told me it was Dickel juice, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I totally understand what people are saying about that Flintstone vitamin note, or that kind of like, weird, the funky note in there. That was Flintstone vitamins, but I don't know. I think it has its place in the world, that's for sure. But I don't know. I've been tempted to buy a bottle or two to see what all the hype is about.
Try the one I had that I kind of liked, it was like mood dependent, but the Dickel Bib, it's like the 13-year-old bottled in Bond Dickel for like $50.
Okay. Is
Like
that's not the
it's a
one in the
blue
spot
label.
bottle, right? There's like a 15-year-old, right? That's in like
Mhm.
it kind of looks like a shorter Woodford double oaked bottle.
No, it's in their typical like cylindrical
Okay.
bottle, like with the here. I got
Long
a Dickel
stemage.
Bourbon.
Okay. Yeah. I've
It's
seen
this
that is
bottle, but like with a blue label. I
oh
kind of
yeah.
like it, kind of still don't know how I feel about it. This Dickel Bourbon, I'm kind of like, it's probably one of the
Well,
better Dickel products, but I
you can
just think it's
imagine
like an
Dickel
half bourbon.
is Dickel bourbon any different than normal Dickel? It's just
I don't
what
know.
is it? Non chill filtered, or it's non Lincoln County processed or whatever. Because technically
No,
Dickel
because
is
this is
just
charcoal chill filtered, so it goes through the Lincoln County process.
well, then what the frick? Well, so they just took normal Dickel and called it bourbon instead of Tennessee whiskey
Yep.
because it's the same shit.
I don't know. I heard a
Wow,
lot of good things about it, and it finally hit my market, so I bought it. And I don't much care for it. I've had
really?
a bit of it though. Like it's not bad. It's just a it's a very it's I have like very similar opinions with Russell's 10 nowadays. Like it's not a
Mm,
ridiculously good pour. It's a little bit better than your average like $20 whiskey, but it's not really like anything to like celebrate about. So I don't
yeah,
know. 'Cause I either like to do like $20 to $25 bourbons where it's like, hey, we're being budgety-ish and we're
yeah,
just gonna do like a Wild Turkey 101, or I like to do like something that's like higher quality, like a really good $35 bottle or like a
bang for your
$50
buck type
bottle,
stuff.
and then start getting into cash strength and whatnot.
Have you ever gotten your hands on Russell's Reserve single barrels store
Mhm.
picks?
Yes.
Dude, I got one from a store down by or up by me. And I mean it doesn't like compare to the 13, but like if I didn't have the 13, dude, it would do in a pinch. Like
Yeah.
it's good, like real good. And I did not have this when I did my end of the year blind, and I also got an old Rip Van Winkle, but I got it like 2 days after the new year. So the old Rip Van Winkle 10 year that's gonna go in this year's end of the year blind, but those are two bottles that didn't end up in the blind that probably would have probably did good.
Mhm.
Um, but man, the Russell single barrel definitely bats up for sure.
Casey, if you don't come back from vacation, I call dibs on that Russell's 13 because I don't have one, but I need one. Dibs.
Yeah, no, there's a raffle at a local store, and it's actually the same store that I got my old rip Van Winkle. Which I don't even know if you can see it. You can't see it, but I have an old rip up there that Lauren won for me in a raffle, and a different friend of ours won a Russell's 13 for Casey. And so he got one because I had this one, and I'm like, well, I don't need another one, so they sold it to Casey instead. Yeah, that was an exciting moment for Casey. But,
yeah, I've only heard good things about that.
It is really good. I mean, it's not $100 good because I heard that's kind of what the secondary market was at last year when they first came out. But for $120 or $110 or whatever, $130, I can't remember, whatever it was that I paid for it, definitely worth it. So good. It schmacks.
Yeah, I need to get one of those. All right, folks. I need to hop off here though, because I got to go take care of a few things. So, are you wrapping it up?
I'll wrap it up right here. Okay. Let's read this last comment and then we'll close out. Trigger said never had dick.
That's on me. You should have known. You should have known. Dickle came up. Just stop reading comments when like Dickle comes up or anything that can be like sexual innuendos.
Yeah. No, the Dickle is worth it. Best Dickle to try would be, I don't know, apparently the Bourbon or the other one. Russell's 14. That sounds good. But yeah, everybody, thank you all for being here. Thank you, Steven, for coming on Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans. Make sure anyone who's here goes and subscribes to Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans because he's doing great stuff over there. Very professional as well. If you can't tell from his setup, he's definitely got it under control a lot better than me. But super cool over there. And I will. I'm so close, dude. 82 more subscribers or whatever I'm at now. That many more subscribers and it's new camera time. But thank you for being here, Steven.
Yeah, of course. I had a blast.
Thank you for enjoying
this. Have to do it again.
Yeah, of course. And I feel like me and you are pretty close to the same wavelength, and I think we're probably going to do this often. So there's always going to be next time. But thank you all for being here. And then we'll see you all in the next class and have a great night. Also, go check out all the other people who are live streaming tonight. So 21090 usually on Tuesdays. All the TGIT crew, go check them out. But cheers, everybody.
Cheers.